So here we are, we're back on the project this morning. You could see by the time lapse of what we've done yesterday. Let's turn the music there, we don't want to be getting done for a copyright infringement. So we've got this little reception area, and because of the amounts that we had to buy, we were only going to do a little bit in here, but what we're going to do, we're going to use everything up. It just makes sense to go back underneath here a little bit, so when our client comes in, they got a nice spacious area, because obviously this sort of thing gets in the way and you want to be able to walk on a nice flat surface and maneuver around. So we're going to get on with this now this morning. We are putting these contrasting bricks on the edge just to add a little bit of flavour to it, but laying the retro yesterday, they look absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to sand it in and brush it all up. We got a number of cuts to do on that side and around the corner, but I think what we need to do is get the blocks off the drive, get them laid, get them down, and then we can move around. So let's get on with it. End of the day, and you have to take that sigh of relief, don't you, at the end of the day, when things have it's been quite intense today. We've been laying these retro cobbles from Tomor, and good looking little product, totally different from lots of the other stuff that's out there, and that's what makes a difference to your garden when you're looking for a product that's something that you like, something that's appealing to you, but you've also got to think about that you don't want to have what everyone else has in their garden. You want something a little bit different, and certainly with these Tomor retro blocks, they give you something a little bit different. It's got that continental feel about it. It's got that retro look, those cobbles, and it looks absolutely fantastic, and really pleased with the outcome of this product. We're going to be showing this a little bit more in the near future, so stay tuned, and we'll show you how it turns out, and pictures before, during and after. What's the best? Well, I think after is the best pictures, isn't it, to have, and over the moon with it. So watch this space. Well, I'm back on the Tomor retro. There we are. There's no way, I've got to top up those gauging baskets. Got the stone there, but I'm not going to go anywhere near that now, simply because of the soil, and we're going to just make a mess, and I don't want to get nothing in here because we need to get some kiln dried sand in there. But if you look at that, it looks fantastic. Look, the grass has got to be done, granted, but I'm really pleased with this. It's totally different. The herringbone pattern, the contrasting brick edge, and those little retro cobbles look absolutely stunning. Here we are. It's a sunny day, but it hasn't been sunny for some time now, is it? We've had rain, we've had frost, we've had snow, and this project here this morning, it was dry, weather, but the blocks were still damp. And the thing is about kiln dried sand, it's almost like flour and water, okay? It just gets all very mushy, and you can't get it into between the blocks. You want the sand to run down. So what we want really, we want a real dry day. Where the blocks have been bedded on mortar around the outside, I've dried them off with a gas lamp, but no sooner than drying them, because there's contact with the mortar bed, the damp's just coming through. So really, in theory, this should just be left for a dry day. It's functional, they can walk on it, they're not going to trip over it, it's not a hazard. You don't want to leave it too long, because you don't want any sort of weeds and seeds sort of getting into it, and germination happening, and then you get the weeds coming up. We don't want that, okay? But nothing's really growing. We're approaching spring, but nothing's really taking hold now. Certainly on a new project like this, nothing's really ingressed into it. So it's a bit annoying this morning, and what we're gonna have to do now to make it look nice, we're gonna have to wash it off, okay, to make it look smart. And then what will happen is it will take the sand down, which is good. If it needs to top up, it needs to top up. Well, Dan and I have done really well today. We've removed all the grass, reduced the level, distributed the soil that was underneath. It wasn't soil, it was okay, it wasn't bad, but it's what they had put to lay the turf. It was a silted, a finely sieved product. It was almost like flour, and there's no way the water, almost like building sand, there's no way that water would get through there. It was very undulated, going up and down. Now at least with this, we've got, like, in places about 8 inches here, probably about 9 inches to a foot over on that side, so at least there's good aeration. We've loosened the ground up underneath, so now you'll get some good sort of worm activity, some microorganisms getting down into that soil below, and good aeration is the key to a good lawn. And remember, it's so important that the compaction of your soil you're putting in should only relate to the foot compaction as you're walking on it. You don't want to be doing any more than that, so don't get running a compactor plate over it and creating a crust on the top where the water won't penetrate. Well, the one thing that we can be sure of in this country is the rain. There you are. Never fails. Never fails. Well, there we are, end of the day, got all the soil in, apart from that little bit there, so that's how it goes. But it's looking a lot better, a lot better. Well, yesterday we raked it all over. I compacted it just solely underfoot. That's all you need, really, as long as you get those air pockets out. Yesterday the soil was nice and dry, and obviously we had rain last night, copious amounts of rain, I might add, so that's made the surface that little bit more sticky. So the rain yesterday made the surface a little bit sticky, but that's absolutely fine because I've compacted underfoot, okay? So it hasn't penetrated to a degree where it's compromising the structure of the soil. So the thing we're using this morning, we're using some old boards, some shuttering boards that I use, and what we're actually doing is we're boarding over left and right, up and down, and we're adding adding soil where required. We know that it's good compaction underneath, and then when we lay the turf, when we lay the turf on top of this surface, and then we board the turf in the same way as what we boarded the soil, we know we're going to have a nice flat surface. Still a little bit more work to be done. It looks like we've got a little bit of sunshine at the moment, but we're going to have to get on because I think it's going to rain. Well, the soil is now finally in place. We've probably got about 2 more wheelbarrows, and it's amazing the amounts of soil that this garden has eaten up, you know. We've got a good bed for the water now to drain through. It's got a much better porosity value, allowing the water to drain through, then hitting that bad ground underneath. But remember, the topography of the ground, all the water should be flowing this way through the garden, through the gabion baskets, and away down into the lower area. So all in all, really, really pleased. We've got to get on because we don't want to be doing this in the rain. Morning, it's me, it's Johnny Boy. We're trying to get on with some soft landscaping this morning. We're putting some turf in. There's a lot of you guys out there that do soft landscapes. A lot of the guys do hard landscapes, design and build, etc. And you get guys that do generally the both in some cases. But next Thursday at Bal, Stoke-on-Trent, we've finally got the go-ahead for a technical training day where you can come along, meet other landscapers, meet the people at Bal, listen to what they have to say, and learn a little bit maybe about British standards, but also, of course, Ruby tools that are going to be there to be able to talk to them, and of course, you'll be able to talk to me. See you next Thursday. Bal Adhesives, Stoke-on-Trent. Well, there you are. It's all boarded out, and now we have to just let it dry, and then we can board it again. And when we lay the turf, we'll board the turf in it as well. But come out quite nice. The area I'm stood on here is going to be a planting pocket, quite a wide one on the back. But yeah, looking good.